Welcome back and welcome to module 6. This is the third step of the tricep method, and it's a very crucial one, and it's one that's often forgotten. You can go on the internet and you can read a lot of theory and this, that and the other, but a really crucial part is putting it into practice, and that's what we're going to discuss in this video. So when you're doing this, there are some key things to bear in mind, and you need to be careful when doing this. You need to look after yourself, okay? So to overcome social anxiety, we're going to need to face fears, and in doing so we rewire the reaction and the neural pathways around those previously very fear-inducing stimuli. For example, speaking to a cashier at a supermarket, something like that. You manage to have a positive one, and then you start to believe in yourself and build up the feedback that it is possible to have these positive experiences, and that changes the neural pathway in your mind, okay? So first of all, this is about getting outside of your comfort zone, and we're going to be setting exposure challenges, exposure therapy, comfort zone challenges. But when you're doing this, you need to understand something about the comfort zone. So this right here, CZ, is your comfort zone, okay? And this might be sitting at home watching Netflix, doing all the things where you avoid going out or facing your fears. Outside of that, is the stretch zone, okay? So this is where you want to be aiming your comfort zone challenges. So outside of that, and in fact, you know, this zone might be much bigger than that. This isn't an accurate representation. But outside of the stretch zone, you have the panic zone. And you don't want to do anything which is going to push you over into a panic zone. So if at the moment you're housebound and you're having trouble even going outside, you can't walk down the street because you feel clunky and awkward, an appropriate challenge might be to go and just stand on your doorstep and just look up and down the street for 10 seconds, okay? And then from there you could extend that to 20 seconds. Then it might be to just go and stand out on the pavement or the sidewalk outside your house for a few seconds. If you're housebound, it would not be appropriate to be like, I'm gonna go and give a keynote speech in front of 300 people at Toastmasters, or I'm gonna go into town shopping on my own. That's gonna put you into panic. That's gonna traumatize you, and that's gonna feed back into the neural networks. You're gonna form negative neural networks of, yes, I knew it, if I go out, things get even worse than I imagined, and then you're re-traumatizing yourself and making your issues worse. So it's very important to be gentle with yourself. Aim for the stretch zone. So sit down, put a bit of thought into where you are now and what might be appropriate for you. Hi guys, I'm down in London today specifically to challenge myself and challenge my comfort zone. If you've been watching my videos and reading some of my blog posts, you'll know that this is a point which I emphasize a lot, which is getting outside of your comfort zone, because this is really the only way you're going to successfully overcome social anxiety disorder. So I've come down here today to do a mixture of exposure therapy and social mishap therapy, where I'm putting myself in deliberately awkward situations, aka making a fool of myself, just to break down those barriers, keep myself loose, and make sure that I don't feel social pressure on me, and just basically play around with the social fabric a little bit. The problem with a lot of people is that they mistake comfort for happiness, and there's no way you're going to grow if you're staying inside your comfort zone. And a key thing to remember, okay, as I said, start small. I hope you can read that. Start small. Just little incremental progress is far better than jumping in at the deep end thinking, yeah, I'm gonna get this all tackled in one day, then re-traumatizing yourself and setting yourself back. So once you've thought about this, you can also create a fear ladder. This is sometimes called a fear pyramid, fear hierarchy. Whatever it is, you can make a spreadsheet or just write down a list of things from 1 to 10, 10 being the easiest. So for example, you know, stepping outside my house for 5 seconds if you're housebound, building right up to being able to walk down the street and give a greeting to a passerby, or whatever it is, you know, whatever stage you're at right now. And the thing is with these, you might have an overall goal. So say, for example, say you want to give a speech. You want to be able to go to Toastmasters and give a speech in front of, you know, 30 new people that you don't know. That can be your aim. That could be like your stretch zone challenge. But you could then break that down into 10 composite steps inside a fear ladder. So, you know, making eye contact with a stranger, speaking to a stranger, giving a presentation in a presentation room on my own at work, giving a presentation in front of my best or to the phone like this, because I could never have done this before. This would have been way too nerve-wracking for me in the past. Then giving a presentation in front of your friend, and then 2 friends, until, you know, you're building up to that main goal of giving a presentation or a speech in front of 20 people at Toastmasters. So a fear ladder can be very useful, and it can help you break down a bigger goal into 10 micro steps as well. Also, around taking action, I would suggest bearing in mind PDA, okay? So this is pre, during, after. And I realise my board is covered with reflection, so it's not that easy to see what I'm writing here, and I apologise for that. But before you do whatever it is that you've set yourself to do, there are some things that you can do that will help you set yourself up for success. One is visualization, and I know this might sound cheesy. I'm not talking about law of attraction stuff where you lie in bed and imagine money falling down from the heavens for you. I'm talking about, if you're going to go down to the supermarket, visualize it going well. See how you're going to walk in with your chest up and your head back, and you're going to pick up your groceries and you're going to have a nice conversation. I don't mean pre-script everything, because that can hold you back, I find, in social anxiety. It can make your interactions clunky and scripted. I just mean see yourself doing well, and that on a NLP level, neuro-linguistic programming, that can actually create an effect within you where you then expect success and you feel more powerful. It releases feel-good chemicals in you to see yourself doing that. It might not work for everybody, but I found it very useful, especially in public speaking. I see myself how I'm going to stand up, shake the Toastmaster's hand, and how I'm going to start with a loud, clear voice. That's how I imagine it, and then that's how it comes about, and it starts a positive feedback mechanism. So beforehand, you can do some visualization. You can also do breathing and so on to get yourself in a good state. During, okay, I would say, again, breath is very important. Always be conscious of your breath. Before you know it, you can get up and you're talking here, and then it just creates a negative spiral. Get down into your tanden, which is your Zen center of gravity, 2 inches below your navel. It's a very solid place. If you can try and breathe from there a lot more, and you feel a lot more rooted and firm on the ground. So breathing is important. Also, look around. So often in social anxiety, it's what we imagine is going on around us, and that starts to build up and we start to have a social anxiety attack. But whereas if you just look around and you face your fears, you know, you actually look at, you think those people on the subway are laughing at you in the other carriage, or you think there's people in the coffee shop that are looking at you over there. If you actually look there, you find that they're probably not. Whereas if you don't, all this stuff builds up in your mind, you end up going red, you have a freak out, you get your stuff and run out. And I've done that loads of times. And it was like mind-blowing when I started to look around and go, whoa, that was actually figments of my imagination. So look around a lot, use your awareness. I think of it like a force field. It's as if everybody else is pushing in on you with their attention or what you're imagining their attention, and you can force that force field back out by using your gaze. You know, I'm driving my car and I see people looking in the window and I have to go, what are you looking at? And look back out and push them back out. Otherwise, they want to see if you're going to fold in sometimes. So use your awareness, look back out. And also, if you're going to do this stuff, reduce muscle tension if you can. So what I often do is, you know, if I'm queuing and I can feel a bit of tension building up, you know, maybe I'm waiting to get my passport stamped at the airport or something. It's just actually now it's become a habit from my social anxiety days. I just stretch my neck out, stretch the front of my neck, have a good look around, keeps me relaxed, and it stops that tension building up in my shoulders where I'm like hunching down and buckling down. I just take up more space and have a good stretch. And you know, it's perfectly normal to have a good stretch in public. People do that all the time. You might have a stiff neck. I just loosen up my neck and it stops any tension building up in my shoulders, keeps me nice and loose. I look about, I take in my environment, and I feel at ease in public. Okay, so that's PDA, pre, during, after. That's everything that I want to cover in this module. So try and look at your comfort zone and create a fear ladder. Work out what would be an appropriate challenge for you. Take action, but start really small. Be gentle with yourself. Don't jump in at the deep end and re-traumatize yourself. Remember PDA, pre, during, after. Try and prime yourself for a positive experience. Use breathing, use some positive visualization. See in your mind's eye how you want the interaction or the experience to go. During, make sure you look around and you release muscle tension. And actually, I almost forgot, after, there's a number of things we're going to look at in the next section which are related to this, but try and reframe any experiences that you think might be negative. Try and just look at things as objective feedback. Don't think, oh, I fucked that up, I failed, I'm a loser. Just think, that is the feedback from that experience. I'll work on that and I'll try and take that in and use it constructively. I'm going to cover that in more detail in the next module, and I'll see you all there.